That's
Okay.
archives. So weird.
Next time, if you hear about those, then just send an email to me because I don't hear about those so often.
Do you go on Eventbrite at all?
On no.
Eventbrite is well,
Oh
there's
yes. I do know about Eventbrite,
okay.
but I do not go and browse on the site.
Okay. Yeah.
So we do have Amber. She is logged in, and our instructor, Professor Downes. Welcome. And
Hello.
Kathleen, send me more ideas, or
Okay.
even on Eventbrite, if you find something interesting, then just forward it to me.
I'll email them to you.
I've not seen the Canadian version of primary sources. We do have presented. Amber,
It's
she
mostly
is logged
American, you
in,
know. There's mostly American
and
that deals
our
with
instructor,
archives actually, which
Professor
is
Downes.
and it's so funny because they don't use the same term sometimes. Like in Canada, you call it a fonds. In the States, it's more like a collection. So it's interesting, this this whole new world opening up. So it's great. Anyways, I better let you get on.
Yes. So, Professor Downes, you can share the screen. We are all ready to go.
Okay, well, let's see. Here we go.
We do have Miss Kathleen and Miss Amber. They have logged in, and I'm also very much interested in learning about mailing lists.
Okay. Why is it not working? There we go. Oh, right, I have to turn it on. Duh. Right. There we go. So you should be able to see me. And if you want to see me in like your full screen, if you're watching this on Zoom, in the upper right hand corner, just click there and click the speaker view, and you should see me. Of course, I'm getting Manisha's M because I'm looking at someone else, but you should get me nice and big. If you really want it big, you can click full screen. So, welcome everyone to this session on mailing lists. I'm working with a bit of a tight deadline today because I have another meeting at exactly 11 o'clock. So, consequently, we won't be going overtime. I'm just turning on my audio recorder here, because I like to make a backup audio recording anytime I do a session. Pro tip, sometimes you'll want those audio backups. So this is Introduction to Mailing Lists, February 8th, 2021. It's hard to believe it's 2021. It feels like the future is here. So we got a few people, and I'm also live streaming on YouTube. So there may be one or two people on YouTube, and of course I'm recording the session. So just keeping that in mind. If you're going to say anything, don't say anything you'll regret, and keep it non-controversial. Today's session will be kind of hands-on. We'll be creating and joining mailing lists, so it helps if you have a computer, although of course I don't know how you're watching this if you don't have a computer. You can even use a mobile phone for this session. It'll work just fine. It's one of the huge advantages of mailing lists is that they work on just about anything. Mailing lists are almost the oldest internet technology there is. The only thing that comes before mailing lists is email. Because you kind of needed email to make mailing lists work. Mailing lists, oh, come on. There we go. So, what is a mailing list? It's a collection, basically nothing more than a collection of names and email addresses used by someone to send an email material, but mainly an email to a bunch of people at once, multiple recipients at once. So And the mailing list is sometimes thought of as the thing that gets sent out, but also the list of people that it's sent to. You can use the term in both ways, and it amounts to the same thing. So here's what it looks like. You have one person sends email, and that email goes to multiple people. It's really that simple a concept. I say it's simple, but it's like anything involved with the internet. It can get very complex in a hurry. Although happily, like last week we did Audacity. The week before we did Open Broadcasting Systems. In comparison with those, this is really simple, and that's why people like it. If you know how to use email, you almost know how to use mailing lists, and so it's a way of keeping people caught up and up to date in a very simple format that everyone can use. So there's basically two types of mailing list. One type is an announcement list or a broadcast list. That's where one person, say me, sends something that will be broadcast to a bunch of different people. And that's the end of it. I have a broadcast list. It's called OL Daily, and I'll just show it to you very quickly. Okay, you should be able to see it there. Oops, wrong thing. What am I doing? Oh, there we go. Sorry, it's hard to do everything all at once, and I'm still not perfect at it. So my mailing list is on my homepage. So, and it's easy to get to. You just click on subscribe, and then you type in your email list, your email address, and voila, you're subscribed to my mailing list. What'll happen is you'll get an email in your email program, Gmail maybe, or Outlook, or whatever you use, and asking you to confirm that you want to receive my email. And if you do confirm, then you'll get a new issue of it every day. And what you'll get every day is what I call it my newsletter, but it looks like this. Well, there's only one item in it at the moment, but I'll show you an archived version of it. Here's from Friday, just a bunch of things, and it's just useful, informative stuff. But this session isn't about my email or to promote my email. It's about mailing lists in general. And so we turn to the other type of mailing lists, the discussion list. And this is the one that really made mailing lists what they are. The discussion list is set up so that anyone who's a member of the list can send a message to the list, and everyone else on the list receives it. As you can imagine, that's a really powerful tool for discussion, because now you have this online place, well, your email inbox, where you can talk to a group of people and they can talk back to you. And, it's cheap, easy, free, and can be set up very quickly. I'm sort of surprised, I work with companies and that, and I'm sort of surprised that more people don't use mailing lists more often. They send single emails back and forth, or use CC in their email or whatever, and they could just easily set up a mailing list, and it's a source of mystery to me why they don't. So, with a discussion list, that leads us to the topic of moderation. And the idea of moderation is because you got a whole bunch of people talking to each other, sometimes, not always, but sometimes you need somebody to step in and make sure that this discussion doesn't go off the rails. And there's a bunch of different ways it can go off the rails. The first and most common still is spam, sometimes known as self-propelled advertising messages, but I think that was just made up. The term comes from the Monty Python sketch, where everybody's saying spam. I mean, I can't sing, but you get the idea. They just say the word spam over and over. And spam feels like that. You just get the same messages over and over and over, and they're useless. So you want to block those. You also want to block people who are being offensive, hateful, rude, insulting, etc. So that's where the moderator comes in, and they take that kind of message and route it to the trash. There are different types of moderation. One is access control, where you limit the list to certain pre-selected subscribers, or you review each application for a subscription as they come in. That creates what are called closed mailing lists. And those are really useful if you want to do mailing lists in a class or something like that. Just close your list. And then that way you don't have the whole world participating in your discussion. But if you want the whole world to be able to participate in your discussion, then you're looking at message control. And there's two ways to do that. One is to look at each message before it's sent. That takes a lot of work. And so most moderation tends to be what I call responsive. And that is, if somebody flags a message as offensive or inappropriate, the moderator will go take a look at that message and then respond appropriately. So, as I say, there are different purposes for moderation. One is to prevent spam, that horrible scourge of the internet. Another is to foster dialogue and prevent offensive messages, and importantly, often to keep the list on topic. And this isn't on the slide, but every mailing list has a life cycle. And this was first observed more than 20 years ago by a guy called Rick Hall in New Brunswick. And a mailing list starts, and there's a flurry of people who sign up for it. And then it becomes really popular. There's lots of discussion. It's kind of like it's in its youth. It's young. It's exuberant. And then it kind of settles into a pattern. And you have a few old graybeards who have been on the list for a long time, and they sort of enforce the informal social protocol, and people on the list just develop their own terminology. And that's a fruitful, productive phase, but then gradually people drift away. The graybeards stay on and argue only with each other, and then as the list reaches old age, it becomes only job postings and calls for papers and conference announcements, and then eventually nobody reads it anymore because there's nothing useful on it, and the list happily expires. All mailing lists go through a cycle like this. So, if you start a list, be aware that this will happen, that your creation will end at some point, and it's okay. For discussion lists, for broadcast lists, well, they can go on forever. I've been doing mine for 20 years, and it's still going on. It'll go on as long as I do, probably. All right, so let's have some fun. Let's make a mailing list. And I'm going to go to a service called Free Lists. And the reason why I'm going to go to Free Lists is because it's free. So I'm just going to click on that, and up pops Free Lists. And that's a website, just freelists.org. And I'll click on Start a New List. Now, it's important to keep in mind terms and conditions and privacy policy. The terms and conditions tell people what will be considered offensive, your responsibilities maybe. So if you're a list administrator, you have responsibility for the content of your list. Maybe not legally, but morally you do. And there are typical conditions. No pornography, don't violate copyright, don't be offensive, etc. The important thing here is to make these understood up front for new members. And then also, mailing lists have an obligation to respect privacy. The rules are different in different places. In Europe, there's something called GDPR, General Data Protection Regulations. In Canada, there are similar rules that don't have a catchy name. And basically, the principle is this: you can't sign people up to mailing lists without their consent. You can't send them internet without, you can't send them internet. You can't send them broadcast or discussion post messages without their consent. They need to be a willing recipient of whatever it is that you're sending. So FreeList has us check these off, and I have read this page and understand they're not to be taken lightly. So we have to check all three of these. So my email address, now I'm creating this mailing list. So I'll put in my mailing list, and what will we call it? I don't know what we'll call it. Any suggestions? Oops. And he turns to the discussion board. Let's look in the chat. Have discussion lists essentially been taken over by social media groups? No. How to stay warm? Thank you. I don't think so. Social media, you have Twitter, you have Facebook, you have the rest of them, LinkedIn, whatever. They're hugely popular, but mailing lists just keep chugging along. For a lot of people, they use social media, that's it. They use Twitter, they use Facebook, they don't want anything else. But a lot of other people, and especially for groups, for interest groups, professions, they use mailing lists. And they use mailing lists because you get everything, you get it in the order it was sent, you don't get marketing messages, you don't get algorithms, it's not trying to get you to remember somebody's birthday, so you don't get all the interference in your content that you do in social media. And I think that's why a lot of people like them. There are many more people using social media than mailing lists, but I don't know. I'm an old fuddy-duddy. I like mailing lists, and I like them a lot. So here's our mailing list name, How to Stay Warm. I like that. I'll capitalize it because I'm picky. All right, so now I'm going to click Next. Oops. It doesn't like, oh, we have to start over. It doesn't like the spaces in the name. Okay. So let's just do this. Well, these things happen. How to stay, well, let's put it all in. There, no spaces. And this is called camel case, in case you're wondering, where I use capital letters to indicate the word breaks instead of a space. And it's camel case because, you know, it has humps. All right, next. There we go. Okay, so list title. How to stay warm. List description. This list is about education technology and how to stay warm in winter. Okay. List category. Arts and media. No. Education. List keywords. Warm. Whoops. List keywords. I guess we just leave a space between them. Or a comma. It doesn't tell us. I'll use a comma because that seems to be better. Ed tech. List type. Okay, so open discussion. See, this is what we had before, the three types, right? The announcement is the broadcast list. Moderated discussion, I'll have to look at each post. I don't want to do that. Or open discussion, that's what we'll set it. Estimated number of subscribers. We'll just set 100. Whoops, 100 for now. Very optimistically. And we'll create the list. Okay. Oh, well, this isn't going to be fast at all. A member of free list staff will review your list request. Okay, I suppose I should have tested this. All right, so we can't do this instantly, I don't think. But I received an email right away. Here it is. I'll be notified within 24 hours. Well, what if I want one now? Well, fortunately, there's more than one mailing list service out there. So let's go back to the slides. I was going to make it, and then you could all sign up to it, and we'd be going right away. But we'll come back to that. So basically, when you subscribe, you can subscribe, unsubscribe, turn digest mode on or off. So what digest mode is instead of receiving each message as it's sent, the mailing list will collect them and send you a single message every day with all the messages that have been sent that day. I like digest mode. It's a good way to read a lot of these mailing lists. And vacation mode, if you want to stay subscribed, but you don't want to receive messages while you're on vacation, you turn vacation mode on, and then when you come back, you turn it off, and you start receiving the messages again. All mailing lists have, well, I shouldn't say all mailing lists, but most mailing lists have archives. And typically they're set up so that you can browse by the month and the day of every month. This one is just month by month, and then you click on that and you see all the messages that were sent that month, and then you click on one of the messages, you can view the message. This is an archive from freelists.org. Here it is. This is the live archive. And you see, I just click on that and I can view a message. Freelists is pretty cool because despite the fact that we have to wait, you can join various different lists. There's a whole bunch of lists on FreeList. So Cyberpunk 2020, Lee's Natural History Forum, Austin Mennonite Church, Foxborough Discussion List, the Listserv 2.0, Australian Technical Writers, etc. We pick any of these and subscribe to it just by entering our email. Here are the options. Prove that you're not a robot and you're subscribed. Now, I'm not going to subscribe to Australian Technical Writers because I don't want to just join a list I'm not interested in. Let's see if they've answered yet. Nope. It might be closer to 24 hours than 24 seconds. Well, let's see now. Why don't I pause at this point and I'm just going to check and see if there are any questions in the chat. Come back here. Nope. Okay. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to go, this is a slide that's later on, but I want to be able to do this because it bothers me. So there's more than one service out there. There are numerous services. FreeList is the one that I chose. There's listserv.com, Listbox, Lsoft. Listserv is really old, and it's interesting. It's got the E on the end. Very often you'll see listserv written without the E, and if somebody does that, they type listserv without the E, they're not making a mistake. That's what listserv, the software, was originally called. Now, maybe there's a free version of listserv. Check the pricing. Special offer, free setup in 3 months with no. No. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google Groups. Now, group isn't exactly the same as a listserv, but it's kind of the same. The only difference really is that there's a dedicated website as well, and you can do everything on the website as well as by email. I'm going to create a group in order to create my mailing list. Now, I need, of course, to have, sorry, just moving you off there. There we go. I need, of course, a Google account. So would you. I'm going to create the group. So, how to stay warm. So the address will be how to stay warm at downs.ca. Now, how does that work? How did I get my own email address there? Well, I've signed up for, what do they call it? Google company accounts. Types of Google accounts. G Suite. I've signed up for G Suite as an individual. So basically it makes a little one-person company for me. It's pretty cheap. It's like, I don't know, $3 or $4 a month. And one of the things it lets me do is have my own email address here, how to stay warm at downs.ca. But if you haven't signed up, you can still create one that is at Google Groups. So I'm going to have this. So how to stay warm. And now I'm going to click next. And anyone in the organization, no, I want it to be anyone anywhere. Oh, you're not going to limit me to organizations, are you? That might be a problem. Okay, group members, group managers, create group. Go to group. Okay. So this is pretty typical. This is a management screen. I'm a bit worried it might not let you join. So let's go to group settings. See. Oh, geez. So there's who can manage members. Oh, we're gonna have to test this somehow. Okay. So, all right. Let's go back to where we were. No conversations yet. Well, okay. You should be able to simply sign up for a member. Oh, for crying out loud. Yeah. I'm looking for the place where you sign up. I don't know if there is one. I'm really bothered by this. And ever since Google created Google or G Suite, things that used to be available to everybody have sort of gradually become less available to everybody. I guess I didn't get any email back from free. No. There's a public group. Yeah. See, you can have public groups. I don't know why I can't have a public group. Of course, this is very old. This is from like 2008. My groups. See, and all of these are external. Excuse me. Let's try something different. Let's try instead group settings. Oh, I can't change that. Okay, I'm going to start a new group. Create group. How to stay warm 2. Only this time I'll just choose it to Google Groups. Yes, I'm creating a group external to my organization with your internal account at your own risk. Yes, Google. Thank you. At my own risk. All right. So, there we go. Right, this is what I want. Anyone on the web. Anyone on the web. Oh, it won't let me do that. Well, anyone can post. Only group members can view. Who can join the group? Anyone can join. That's better. Who can search for the group? Anyone on the web. All right. There we go. So that's the trick. Live and learn. If you want it to be open, you can't use your own email address. All right. Group members, welcome message, hello, and welcome. Okay, create group. capture required. I am not a robot. I am not. Oh, never mind. Create group. Go to group. Now, there ought to be a way to subscribe to this group. So, but what is it? Let's search Google and find out. This is why I didn't want to start with Google Groups, because it's really awkward. Google makes great search technology. Their web technology is awful. Well, not awful, but it's cumbersome. Sign into Google Groups. All right. Oh, I see. We're going to have to search for the group. So, okay. So, how to stay... There we go. How to stay warm 2. So, here we go. But that's not going to take me to a subscription page. It's just going to take me here to this web page. So, members. I honestly don't know where the sign up page is, or even if there is one. There used to be one where you could just sign up. The problem is I'm not seeing it because I'm a member of it. Let's try. Oh, I just got an email. Okay, this might help. Got an email, how to stay warm 2. Invite people to join your Google group. Oh, but you have to invite them person by person. See, here, add someone without getting their approval. Don't do that. Unless you already know that they agree to join your list. Invite someone via email. Here we go. Sign in. Add members. Okay, let's try that. We'll sign in. Go to... It's not there. On the left, click members. On the left, click members. Okay. Add members. But again, we have to send them. We have to send them an invitation, which isn't very good, is it? Because I want people to just be able to find the group and join it. The way I could find other groups and join them. So I want, and minimally, I want to invite someone, directly add members. Oh, turn off. There we go. Stupid Google. Okay, so add members, directly add members, turn off. Now let's send myself an invitation. Okay. Send the invitation. This is cheating, but this will work. Oh, but it's already an existing member. Okay, so I'll send it to downs@downs.ca. That's not an existing member. Okay. Will that work? I don't know. So let's go into Gmail. And I'm going to sign out. And I'm going to log in as Downs@Downs. And I should see an invitation here. Here we go. And if I click on this, it's accepting the invitation. Oh, I wonder, but I think it's still personalized. But now I can click on this and accept the invitation. So that's the problem with Google Groups. Oh, I've got a little bit of outstanding email in this account. I don't use it ever, so that's 263 spam messages in this account. So, okay. Well, that's really annoying. Maybe I should just take up listserv on their special offer. Maybe that would be the thing to do, eh? Let's see, discussion listserv. Yeah, you see, 1 to 49 it'd cost you $15 a month, and that's pretty typical. Well, now I'm beginning to see why more people don't use these email lists. It used to be so simple. And it used to be you could just subscribe. Well, I think the way to do it, to subscribe, is to go to Google Groups, search for the group, How to Stay Warm. And if you're not, let's try it if you're not a member of the group. Let's see what we see. All right, the browser that I never use, Microsoft Edge. All right, which, I open it up and it slams me with advertising. That's why I never use it. All right, so here I am. It's going to make me sign in. Stupid Google. Yeah. So I'm not going to be able to just. Oh, maybe I can. No, it's going to make me sign in, isn't it? Oh, well, it's Edge. It's going to not work. Okay. So,
Mr. Downes, it's 8:45.
yeah.
Are you going to show us some more? You mentioned Mailchimp.
Yeah. So, let's have a look at Mailchimp. Thanks, Anisha. At least Mailchimp works. I'm sorry, I thought this would work better, and of course it didn't. I might have to rethink doing these presentations because things keep not working. Okay, Mailchimp. Mailchimp is a broadcast type of mailing list, so you're not going to get the back and forth dialogue with Mailchimp, but there is a free version. You have to search for it because it's not here, right? It's over here. So, and it'll ask you to sign up, of course. Now, I have an account with Mailchimp already. So I probably shouldn't create a new one. I don't think I'll create a new one. I'll just log in. But there is a free account. So I'm just going to log in. Continue. Okay, so now I'm logged in. So the way Mailchimp works is you can create a mailing list that is a list of people, and then you can send them messages. So pick create. So here are the different things that you can create. It's not the easiest site to work with in the world. So and there's many different types of mailing lists that it has. So you can create an audience, something that they call a campaign. You can do automations. You can build a website. There's a content studio and integrations. What we're most interested in to start is to create an audience. So I have several, right? I have one for OL Weekly and OL Daily. And I can manage my audiences. But I can also create a new audience if I want. But where? I forgot.
Add contacts.
Where is that? Add contacts?
Mm-hmm.
I can't see it. I don't want to view the list of all contacts. Oh, this is ridiculous. Current audience, view audiences. Okay, duh. You have to view your audiences and then create an audience. All right. And then they're going to tell you not to create an audience, but I'm going to create an audience anyways. Test from email address. From name. This is the person it's from. Campaign. Let's just generate that randomly. We'll allow it to generate randomly. We're not going to reuse. Oh yeah, we'll just reuse a reminder. Okay. Address. Form settings. I always enable GDPR fields. Also enable double opt-in. What that means is they sign up for the list. They'll get an email saying, do you confirm that you sign in? They click on the link that says, yes, I confirm that I sign in. And then the notifications, when somebody signs up to the list, I get a notification from Mailchimp. So, okay, now I've created my audience. Wasn't easy. So, to review again, audience. How did that go again? View audiences, create audience. Right? They couldn't just have a big button, create audience. No, they couldn't do that. Okay, so here's my list. And now I want to create a sign up form. So here it is. So I just want a simple sign up form. Landing page sign up form. No, I don't want to design anything. I just want a form. Sign up form. Form builder. Okay. All I want is a simple sign up form. All right. These are all the fields you could have them submit. Right, and here's what it would look like. Design it, translate it. Okay, this is all I want to do. So here's the URL. I'm just going to copy this URL. I'll open it up in a new browser window. Hit enter. Let's see what we get. Here's my sign up form. See, I didn't have to do anything. I just copy the URL. So now if you go to this URL, and there it is. It's pretty short. I'm just going to give you something where you can view it in a bigger format. So, whoops. So if you go to this address, you'll see this form. If you fill in this form, and normally I just have GDPR. This is their defaults, and you can just have email. We're not marketing anything with this list. So you sign up to that, just submit that, and then I'll be able to, I'll get an email notification when you sign up, and I'll be able to see when you sign up. Now, the next part's the hard part. Yes, it is. I know, I'm sorry. So after you've created a list, you want to send messages on the list. So Mailchimp doesn't call them messages. It calls them campaigns, because advertising, right? So campaigns, what they mean is messages. So we still have 0 people in our mailing list. So that's too bad. Even I'm not subscribed to it. I guess that should say something. Let's at least have me subscribe to it. Whatever. Subscribe. Okay, so I've clicked subscribe. I'll prove that I'm not a robot. Okay, so now I have to go to the email that it's just sent me. Here it is. Yes, subscribe me to this list. Click on that, and I'm confirmed. Now we'll come back here to my campaign. I'll just reload this page, and it still says I have 0, but I know that's not true. Why is it not true? Let's try that again. Okay, continue. Confirmed. All right, it's there. It's just being slow. I've discovered that Mailchimp is slow at some things. Okay. So, campaigns. I have, well, whatever. Now I want to create a campaign. In other words, create a message. So I'm just going to create a post. Stop trying to help me. Okay. Campaign. Create campaign. Email. There we go. All right. So campaign name. In other words, message name. Test message. Feb 8. Begin. Now what I need to do, it's going to give me a bunch of things I need to do. Send it to whom? My list. Oh, test has a subscribe contact. All right. So I send my message to a mailing list and I save that. From, stop trying to help me. Edit from, it automatically puts my name in. Subject, I add a subject. Okay. And preview text, that's the little text underneath your subject. I'll save that. And then content, which is where I actually design my email. Mailchimp's going to recommend all kinds of silly templates, saved templates, whatever. And so, okay, help people use it. So, continue. Oh, it still doesn't like my content yet. Oh, it's so slow. I'll just send plain text. That's it. Okay. Skip these messages. Come on. Come on. I'm trying to click. Continue. Oh, still doesn't like my content. Okay. Yeah, it won't let me send placeholder content. That's why it's doing this. And for some reason it's not letting me change my template because I don't know why. Alright. Garbage. 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 And it wants an image. I don't want to give it an image. Alright. Now I'll drag some text in here. Alright. Edit. Come on, let me. Okay, I have to type it over here. Hello. I'll save it. Now I can continue. And it looks like, yes, it has accepted my content. Now that I've done all of that, I click send. So I'm about to send, they say campaign, I'm about to send a message to one subscriber. And it's out there. And it won't be immediate, but we should see it. Well, it will show up in my email in a few seconds, I hope. But we've reached 11 o'clock, and as I said off the top, I have a hard deadline. So, like I said, mail. Oh, there it is. There's my message. There's the footer that's automatically generated. I have finally successfully sent myself a message. So, I never did hear back from the free listserv people. So sometime in 24 hours I'll probably hear from them, but that's about it for this session. Any quick comments or questions before I go?
Kathleen is saying thank you. Amber said thank you too, and we're really grateful that you showed us about mailing list, especially what's the purpose, whether it is broadcast or whether it is discussion. Those points are really important. And then the tools to use Freelist or Mailchimp. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, and thanks, Kathleen. I hope you enjoy OL Daily. It's better than this presentation. Okay. So, thanks, everyone. Hate to leave suddenly and quickly, but I do have to go. And I'll see you again.